What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai, and today we're gonna be looking at a Lil Peep style recording template as well as a Trippy Red style, because I think they can fit into the same kind of dimension. And yeah, let's get straight into it.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan, goth girl in the club pulling on my hand. Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try. 1400 bitch and we pull up with them bands. Say that you love me but you don't understand. Shooter got a clip and is hanging out his pants. Pull up in the forest and we smoking on some plants.
Alrighty, there you go. That sounds like the most fire vocal tutorial you've ever seen on YouTube. Drop a like on that, rest in peace to Lil Peep. Honestly, I really think it could have been a mega pop star. I heard the track he did with Juicy J and Wiz, and I realized, damn, that kid really could have done it, done it the right way. So yeah, man, let's get straight into it. This used to be a Drake template, but, it didn't really work out. So, we improvised and we turned this into something even better. So yeah, we'll break it down piece for piece. Now, the first thing you might hear in this is, let's listen to it again, right? It's so fire.
Goth boy pulling,
give it some headroom.
goth boy pulling up in a minivan, goth girl in the club pulling on my hand. Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try.
So yeah, we'll focus firstly on the Lil Peep part of it. And a lot of the times when listening to Lil Peep, you can hear that he's always got kind of two vocals going on, kind of spread, and that's really a rock style of mixing. If you listen to a lot of rock songs, in hip-hop, we don't really pan elements to the left or right of the song, in terms of the whole speaker. But in rock or punk music I listen to, or I used to listen to a lot of punk, you can hear that sometimes the guitar will be panned to the left and then the reverb is sent to the right channel. All sorts of weird things that just kind of offset the song in a really cool way. So we do that with the vocals. So we're doing some really strange things today. First off, let's mute the left and right. So these are the two. As you can see, all this Drake stuff is still there. Let's call that right, and we'll call this left. Okay, so we got the main vocal right here, and we'll play that.
Goth boy pulling.
Oh, my bad. We got them the wrong way around.
Goth boy.
Whoops, left and right.
Goth boy.
Okay, so let's switch that around. We'll call that left, we'll call that right, and we'll call that main vocal, and then let's just go.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan, goth girl in the club pulling on my hand. Say that you love.
So that's really the meat of the vocal, because as we are panning things, we're not panning them too far left or right, so that when we sum it all to mono, let's sum this all to mono.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan, goth girl in the club.
We're not losing anything. So it's always important to have an actual middle ground, but what we are doing is we're applying some EQ. We're obviously doing a bit of pitcher or auto correction, and we're keeping that pretty high at 90, just so we can get that main one sounding nice and sweet. But what we are doing is we're cutting away. It sounds like I have auto-tune in my voice. I don't. But yeah, pretty much all we're doing is cutting away all the kind of top end of the vocal, or the mid-high end, and if I just bypass that, you can hear.
Goth boy pulling up in a mini.
And we could do it without that, but then without this EQ, the reverb shines a bit too much, right? That we're going into. So I'll just play it without the EQ.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan, goth girl in the club.
So this EQ really just helps this reverb that we're doing over here to not become overly aggressive. We do want the sides also to shine, because we are going for a Peep style, vocal. And what we'll do next is we will then mute the main, and then let's go for the left and right.
Goth boy pulling.
Oops, sounds weird when I just started right there. Let's go in the middle.
Pulling on my hand. Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try.
So there you go. It's just spread a little bit to the left. We're doing about 28%. Just so we kind of spread it out. And the interesting thing I'm doing on this one is I'm using two different types of auto-tune. So on the left one, we're using auto-tune 8, and on the right, we're using pitcher, right? But you can use both sides with pitcher. I just did this because it creates a really cool little sound. So here are these settings for this pitcher on the left, and here are these settings for the one on the right. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing there. What we are doing then is we do pitcher, and then we send both to our main vocal channel, where we're doing a lot of processing, etc. We're kind of using a mic emulation EQ curve kind of thing, just to kind of get the vocal to sound a certain way. So let me pull up you know, 4 plugins at a time, and we can kind of work from there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And yeah, apologies for talking so fast. I got a bus to catch later. So yeah. So the first one we're doing is just a bit of mic emulation, just to kind of get that vocal to sound a certain way, right? Because this mic doesn't really have that rockstar effect to it in a sense.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan. Goth girl.
You know what I mean? This mic, if you're listening on some high quality headphones or speakers, you can kind of hear that the weight of the bass end of the vocal is kind of taken away. So let's listen.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan. Goth girl in the club pulling on my hand. Say that you love me so you don't have to.
So we're doing that right there. And then over here, we're just kind of cutting away what we don't like of the vocal, and then rolling off at around 120, just to get rid of, you know, just to give that bass that, like, you know, that thump, you know. And then we're doing kind of a more rockstar type compressor, or, you know, just my kind of perception of that, you know, fast attack, really slow release, so it's kind of constantly there. And another tip is to record excuse me, fairly loud. As you can see, these waveforms have been recorded almost near to 0, probably clipping, but nothing that is like really distorted, because that's kind of where Peep's sound comes from. So we want to keep that you know, integrity there. And yeah, we're doing the saturation right here. This is really important. You can go get this plugin for free. It is the soft tube saturation knob, and we're just doing a little bit, like 0.04 from what I remember, and then you can kind of choose the saturation type based on the vocal that you have. So yeah, that's the first 4 plugins in our chain. You know, we could do some DS, but we are doing DSing later on in the chain, so I'll bypass that. But that's just there for if you have already kind of sizzly vocal. Then we're doing some Goth EQ, which was really just a tone, you know, tone boost, not boot. My bad. You know, tone boost EQ.
Goth boy pulling up in a minivan. Goth girl in the club pulling on my hand. Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try.
Really cool. So that's really just tones the EQ down. It's very similar to this, but now we're really concentrating on what we find important within the vocal, getting rid of what we don't find important. You know, it's just really a trial and error game, EQing. You know, you start to learn and hear. And now we're doing the kind of Meek Mill effect. You know, these 2 plugins are real Meek Mill-ish, but they really work for any style of rap. My 2 favorite plugins for compressing rap, you know, nicely. And this one really creates the kind of harmonic compression. And then this one is really just smoothing and massaging. So I'll A/B each one, and then we can hear. Let's start in the middle this time.
Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to.
So as you can hear, this one kind of brings in that saturation. Apologies for cutting it a bit short, but I'll play it the whole way through and you can hear again. But this one adds in that like kind of characteristic, that harsh kind of compression, and then this one just smooths it out. So if I just have this one, and you'll hear the vocal gets a bit kind of flattened in a way, not flattened as in over compressed, but kind of smoothed a bit into the background. So let's hear that.
Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try. 1400. Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try.
You know, these 2 plugins are definitely interchangeable. You can use whatever you want, your favorite compressor, because I know some people haven't purchased these plugins, so I definitely recommend buying them. This won't cost you more than $100 for both, or even 50, hopefully. You know, these 2 plugins are already old anyway, so you know, we've been using these on vocals for years, and they sound spot on, eh? It's good. It's like adding the garlic to your pasta. You gotta have it. Yeah, then we're just doing a bit more EQ, just kind of boosting the top, just to get that sizzle back, you know, after we've done a bit of EQ and all that. And yeah, just, you know, boosting where we find necessary again. And that's really it, you know, it's really just massaging the vocal. Originally Peep stuff, you know, as I say, rest in peace Peep, a lot of the stuff was really roughly done, so this is kind of the cleaned out massage version of what, you know, it could have become, you know, later on in his career. Obviously the production quality went up, but yeah, so really I just give you some more options here. Oops. You know, some more options, but really we're just using the add air again to kind of just really make sure the whole vocal bus, or all the vocals combined, stick out, you know, on top of the beat. So already you can switch this around how you'd want. We're just doing some last multiband compression just to, you know, ease the vocal before the limiter. And yeah, that's really all we're doing.
Say that you love me so you don't have to lie. Say that you hate me so I don't have to try. 1400 bitch, and we pull up with them bands. Say that you love me, but you don't understand. Shooter got a clip and is hanging out his pants. Pull up in the forest and we smoking on some plants.
So yeah, now we'll head over to the trippy part of the vocal, and really, I you know, the Stig, not me. I'm definitely not singing any of this. You know, contact me for ghostwriting and all that. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you know, the thing is, I'm not really too good at, you know, I feel like the Trippy Red vocal effect is gonna damage his throat one day. You know, I always tell people to sing and speak out your chest, because you will sound a lot more defined. My bad, sorry for the glitching. And yeah, you know, so you can hear over here, or the Stig, not me, definitely not me. This part you can kind of just ease, and then the second part you can kind of have that, you know, trippy sound. This is the way we chose to do it.
Right, 1400 bitch, and we pull up with them bands. Say that you love me, but you don't understand. Shooter got a clip and is hanging out his pants. Pull up in the forest and we smoking on some plants.
Smoking on some plants in the forest. Okay, so yeah, just really focus on this first, because, you know, this is just normal rap stuff, the top one, and we'll kind of break down a bit of trippy sound and all that. But yeah, you know, exactly the same. We're using the Peep channels here to just process the background vocals, which is really optional, because I don't really hear Trippy doing this. I would really like for them to do this, you know. Like, these guys hire expensive studios and make really kind of good songs, but just kind of basic, you know. I feel like when you do this kind of stuff to your music, when you listen back, you know, a few hundred times, you start to hear all these different things, you know. So to me, that's important. It makes music a lot more kind of in-depth and timeless in a sense. So we'll just play that soloed.
Shooter got a clip and is hanging out his pants. Pull up in the forest and we smoking on some plants.
And as you can see, this is all distorted, so I don't recommend doing that, but it does give you a slightly more saturated sound. And we've dropped the level a lot more than over here, if you wanna.
Pulling on my hand.
You know, we don't want that to be emphasized. We want to focus on the rap vocal. So this channel right here, we've kind of separated it. So we've got Peeps, obviously his vocals over here, but now we've got the rap vocal, which is really the trippy sound. And I'll just sort of this here.
Right, 1400 bitch, and we pull up with them bands. Say that.
And I did forget to add the delay, so let's just listen back again, and then we'll break it down.
Say that you hate me, so I don't have to try. 1400 bitch, and we pull up with them bands. Say that you love me, but you don't understand. Shooter got a clip and is hanging out his pants. Pull up in the forest and we smoking on some plants.
And yeah, really all we're doing with trippy sound, what's pretty cool is, let's actually get over there. My main vocal, and then we go,
pull up with them bands,
you know.
and you know we told them poles. Let it blow, let it blow, let it blow.
You know, there you go. That's all it really is. It's just some slight auto-tune, good EQing, nice little reverbs. And I'll do all of these channels in the next video, because I don't want this to be a 20-minute video. And yeah, that's really it.
1400, yeah, you know I let it blow. Let it blow, let it blow, let it blow.
Easy, you know. We got the Peep side.
Yeah, Goth boy pulling up, ice on my hand, lean with the Sprite, man.
Don't sip that. Okay, but there you go. That's really it. We're doing some slight mastering. One thing we'll kind of break down how to get a real Goth boy. I should actually save it for a different video. It is your boy Farai. You know, like and subscribe. Contact me for mixing and all that. I will be gone for a week, but I'm gonna try to shoot 3 videos right now and then upload them in segments. I hope you've watched the whole video. It is really important to make sure that you get the whole idea. Watch the video twice. Rip it off the internet, whatever, as long as you don't re-upload it. Yeah, man, it is your boy Farai. Highest quality FL Studio tutorials, all vocal tutorials. You know how we're doing it. Shout out to all the subscribers who, you know, tune in week to week to view. And yeah, let's get it. Peace out.